Hello, welcome to Ivanna's Norsk life. I know it's been a long pause since my last video, but there is a reason for that. And I want to thank all of my new followers and subscribers for waiting for me for so long. And thank you because you motivated me to come back. I will be honest, after 24th of February and events that happened in Ukraine, that this extremely bad. The war was in Ukraine since 2014, but on 24th of February it actually escalated and it went on the whole land. And most of my family members, they are still in Ukraine, they are in danger. And that morning when I wake up and I see a message from my mom that the actual war has started in Ukraine, that I know that there are bombs exploding all over the whole country, of course you are worried for your family and you don't understand what is happening. And it was very emotional time for me, and I needed to take a break just to understand how to live with all of that, and also to understand how can I help my country, how can I help my family. But I also feel that I need to learn to keep living my life in some way, even though inside of me everything has changed. But it doesn't mean that I cannot try to learn to come back in some different way. That's why I had this community post asking you for suggestion on how should I come back with which topic. And since you voted for how the job market has changed in Norway since 24th of February, about immigration in Norway and so on, so I hope that you would like the content. Let's start the vlog. When we want to talk about job market in Norway and how it is changing, it is very critical to take into consideration two main events that has happened in the past couple of years and couple of months that has a huge impact on the job market in Norway. But this video is not gonna cover topic on the high demand jobs in Norway 2022, and for those who are interested specifically in this topic, it will be coming in the next video, so please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you're gonna get the notification when the new video is out so you don't miss it. And for now, let's go and take a look on this. What are those two main events that actually has a huge impact on the Norwegian job market? And the first one, of course, it is a COVID. And I don't know if you know, but I have in some of my videos explanation that COVID has caused Norway to be closed for a really long time. We've been working from home, and that has actually affected job market in a huge way, and we are facing many different things that we will talk about just in a second. And the second event, it's actually the reason for the title of this video. It is a full invasion of Russia into Ukraine that has happened on 24th of February 2022, or it can be called Russian-Ukrainian war because it's Russia attacking Ukraine and Ukraine is protecting itself. So let's see what are the consequences of both of these events and what can we expect in the future, right? So let's start with the first one, COVID affecting job market in Norway. The most affected types of job in market by COVID, I would call them service-oriented. What I mean by service-oriented, it is jobs related to the hotels and restaurants. And why the reason that this group of the jobs are especially very much affected by the COVID is because during COVID and when Norway was closed, there were not so many people traveling to Norway, and there actually was not so many travels inside of the Norway by Norwegians. And that's why it was very hard to keep running, especially like restaurants, cafes, hotels, all this type of business. It caused that many people, especially like students, people who were able to work part-time, maybe sometimes full-time during this summer, that were available to do the job. The life in Norway is so expensive that you have to have some income. So some of the people were forced just to leave Norway and go to their home countries because they couldn't work. And now they're not coming back. And also you cannot apply for the high-skilled job visa with this type of jobs. So then this led to a problem that actually these type of jobs cannot be completely fulfilled. there is not enough people who would do the job, and also the salary is so low that many of the people, they just don't want to go back and work at these jobs. And also another reason it could be that during these 2 years, actually some of the people has re-educated themselves and they're able to go to another type of job where they can be much more paid. So of course COVID has affected this business very much, but there is also another part of the very much affected by the COVID. It is in the medical direction, so types of job where you need to have a medical education. By some reasons there is not enough people with medical education, and now I actually heard that in some cases they are even able for some of the jobs to close the eyes on the requirement on the Norwegian language just to have enough people take care of elderly people and so on. So this is an opportunity for those who has medical education to come with the highly skilled visa and work in Norway in the medical direction. So this is to those who are asking me these questions. And much more digitalization was happening during the COVID because we needed to work remotely, and this has caused to increase of the companies who work in IT, and that's why it also leading to a much wider market in IT direction. So there is much more jobs and people needed with such education, and especially if you have some experience, it will be especially cool, and you don't need to know Norwegian in most of the cases for the IT specialization. So this is also in some way it is affected by COVID, but I think it's also a very natural thing and will be happening more and more in the future. This is 3 main types or like fields in the job market that has been affected by the COVID. And now let's go to the second event. Russian-Ukrainian war is very sensitive topic to me, and I think that weather actually is supporting me now. Look what has happened. This is June in Norway. The Russian-Ukrainian war is a very sensitive topic to me because I'm Ukrainian and my relatives are in Ukraine, and my country, Ukraine, is under the war, full invasion of Russia since 24th of February, and it has led to a huge number of people fleeing from Ukraine to the rest of the world. It is, I think, in this couple of months it came to Norway more than 16,000 Ukrainians. So having 16,000 refugees in such country like Norway with population 5.5 million of people, it is a huge deal because first of all it makes a huge load on the system where in the very beginning the bureaucratic process is very time consuming, and even if you just apply for a job it takes a lot of time to get the response of your application. And now imagine that in addition to a normal situation we are also getting 16,000 more or like plus because it's changing every time. It's increasing the number of refugees from Norway, from Ukraine. So it actually affects the processing time because then the Norway needs to quickly find enough people who can do the job with processing all of the application for the visa so people can officially stay and get economic and social support. In addition to that, also you need to understand that Ukrainians who are fleeing from Ukraine are not fleeing because they want to move to Norway. They are forced to leave their country because they're worried about their kids. I think that in the statistics it was stated that more than 60% of the people who came to Norway, it's moms with kids. So it's kind of very complicated situation because it's a huge number of people, not only in Norway, in the world, that are coming not only from Ukraine. Don't forget that there is also refugees from other countries. They didn't stop to come. It just a lot of attention is brought to Ukrainians because it's in Ukraine the population is more than 40 million people. So it's a huge number of people in a very short period of time who are leaving the country, and it's very hard economically to organize a very effective system. So what happened is that in Europe, including Norway, it was decided to simplify the process of getting refugee status and also to get a collective protection visa. What it means that previously refugees from other countries, they will get, like, they needed to prove that it's dangerous for them to be in their own country. That's why they are asking or like leaving their country and want to live in Norway or any other country. Because Ukraine is not anymore a safe country to be in, that's why anyone who was living in Ukraine before the date of 24th of February, they are kind of covered by this collective protection visa. So this means that it needs to be processed very quickly because you have so many people. So if you compare the individual refugee visa, it takes about 6 months to get it. And for the collective protection visa, it can even be for some lucky people like 2 weeks or so, but usually it's 1 month, 2 months. For now can be 3 months of waiting time, but still it's much better than in the previous occasions. This has impacted and it affects you in the way that when you want to apply for a job, you need to understand that it will be much longer waiting time to get processed your job application visa. If before it was about 18 weeks due to COVID, and this is I know from our company and people that we hired from outside of EU, so it takes a long time to get visa. Now it's even longer. If I'm not mistaken, it's about like it can be even up to 36 weeks. So you can imagine how it's hard for the employer to get someone from outside of EU area. And they also will need to show that there is an enormous importance in EU. They can, like, why they cannot take people who are inside of Norway. This is one thing that is affecting job market, because it could be that in some cases when it's very crucial or like very needed in a short period of time to get that person, that maybe company will not go for the person outside of EU and will try to find someone in Norway or EU that can start working much quicker. So it's one thing. Another thing is that Ukrainians who are getting collective protection visa, they're able to start working as soon as they get this visa. Of course, you also will need to get your residence permit card, which means that those people who are fleeing from Ukraine, they can much quicker start to work in Norway, and they also can cover the needs, especially in the hotels and restaurant business, also medical field, because it could be many people with medical education, also teachers who can work in Ukrainian with the kids who are also fleeing here. This like it changes job market slightly, and also it should provide in the coming couple of months a huge change of covering these specific types of jobs that are very hard to get with the highly skilled jobs visa. And also another thing, that people who are getting collective protection visa, they are also obliged to go through the immigration introduction program if you're in age between 18 and 55, in which you will be provided with Norwegian courses. It could be also English courses and all education support, so they can much quicker find job in Norway. That of course will mean that for some of you who are looking for some types of job, it will be a bit complicated to get such type of job. So then it means that all this war in Ukraine, it affects everyone in a very different way, and I try to be honest. And even though it's very hard for me, because I support with the whole heart my country and Ukrainian people, and I hope that everything will be ended soon, and those who are dreaming to come back home, they will have the opportunity to do that as soon as possible. But at the same time, I hope that when they are in Norway, that they will find a way to make their life at least a bit easier, because I don't know how to explain how much psychological and emotional stress we are having all of this time, because all of us, we have someone in Ukraine, and it's very hard. Yep, this is all from me for this video. Thank you for watching me until the end. I hope you find this video useful. If yes, please hit the like button, write something in the comments to show your support to me, because it's very hard for me now, having my relatives and my country being under the war. It's very psychologically, emotionally exhausting. Also being able to find the force to work on the YouTube videos, it's a bit challenging for me, so I would appreciate your support in terms of the comments. More you do this, more YouTube algorithm will highlight this video to other people, so more people can know this information. Thank you very much for staying with me. I appreciate it a lot, and see you next time. Bye!